Doctor Strange is a character and story that going into this movie, I knew pretty much nothing about. And I kind of like that in some ways because it allows you to go into a movie with zero expectations about what the character and story should be and just let the movie take you on that ride. And take you on a ride is exactly what this movie does. For the last few months, for whatever reason, I've had fairly high expectations for this movie, and all in all, I feel pretty freaking satisfied with the finished product. Now, for those who are also pretty unfamiliar with this character, but also without spoiling too much, Stephen Strange is a renowned neurosurgeon, pretty much the top of his game. He's a little bit cocky, he's a little bit arrogant, but he gets the job done. He eventually gets into an accident which leaves his hands pretty much mangled with severe nerve damage, essentially putting his career as a neurosurgeon completely in the tank. His character as a whole actually came off very similar to me as Gordon Bombay from the Mighty Ducks, only in this case, rather than coach a Pee-wee hockey team, Stephen Strange is kind of asked to save the universe is all. And eventually, much like Gordon Bombay overcame his own selfishness and arrogance to do something great, Stephen Strange throughout the course of this movie pretty much does the same thing, while a little bit of that arrogance somewhat is what enhances his character to allow him to be as great as he is. As for what I thought for the bulk of the movie on the whole, I think it stays pretty true to what Marvel knows as a format that works for them. Their plot is fairly easy to understand while creating some decently high stakes. It doesn't go too in-depth intellectually to where the bulk of movie-going audiences will understand what's going on. They have some impressive visuals, some good character development, and it all culminates to at least a climax of this contained story while setting up yet another story. I also like that throughout certain points within this movie, with multiple characters even, you see them questioning whether or not everything they've ever known within this world is actually true, to where you have doubts as to who's actually good and who's actually evil, and it sort of allows more suspense to build toward what that eventual climax is going to be. And the freaking visuals of this movie are out of this world. I know a lot of people have likened what you've seen in the trailers to something like Inception, but it takes that entire concept and completely blows it out of the water to a whole new level of just an entirely shape-shifting world that is constantly moving with thousands of moving parts throughout the entire thing. I thought visually this movie was really, really impressive, but it didn't rely on those visuals at the sacrifice of any of the story. This movie wasn't without a couple things though that I thought could have been improved upon, probably first and foremost with sticking maybe too close to that Marvel formula I talked about earlier. I think Doctor Strange could have been a good opportunity to take maybe a couple more risks to be that intellectual mind bend that would have really gone fitting with this world that they have going for them. I felt that there was a couple opportunities where the rising tension could have been heightened a little bit more, just to really create an atmosphere of what's really at stake. And at least for me, I never felt necessarily like things might fully be in danger, and I thought they could have done a little bit better with that. This movie also did a thing that I didn't really expect going into it, and that was sort of cramming in a couple pop culture references that I would say no more than half of which really landed or even felt in place with what was going on. All in all, I really enjoyed the story of Doctor Strange, but I absolutely loved this sort of alternative universe where all this sorcery takes place. I thought all the acting performances were fantastic, and really on the whole, it's just a good time out at the movies. It does have a couple things about it that I think they definitely could have improved upon, but nothing that's gonna knock it down too much, to where if I was guessing what I think the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie is, having not seen that score yet, my guess is going to be an 83. And apparently, as of the Thursday night release, it is rocking a 91. So I guess maybe I was a little bit more nitpicky than most people. But anyway, that is just my thoughts on Doctor Strange. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this movie also in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, please leave the like button. You know I always appreciate that. And subscribe if you want more reviews like this one. But above all else, everybody, thanks so much for watching.